So I bought this at the store. It's called a heath, sort of like heather. I think it's related to heather, but it's not heather. It doesn't have the ER on the end. I've seen this around Portland. They become like real big bushes, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They bloom in the wintertime when it's dreary, and it's actually coming to the end of its bloom cycle right now. And then it will turn into a beautiful evergreen shrub in the summer, and then it blooms every winter. So really excited to have this. It was really root bound. I have a picture to show it, and I've been gardening a long time, and I always feel like I'm going to kill the plants when I do this, but I put them in a water bath. I used warm water in this case because it's such a cold day. It's like March. And I broke up all the roots, and on the bottom actually pulled like big clumps, which you can see out there. I threw them out there, broke off big clumps because I want it to be able to grow freely, but I hope I haven't damaged it. I don't think I have, but I just never know. I feel like it's always a gamble. I just submerge it in the warm water, and then I use that little wooden spoon, the little pick point there, to just pull apart some of the roots. So I'm going to plop this into a larger pot, and I'm hoping that it will survive and that at some point I can pick a place in the yard to put it into the ground. But for right now, I just want to up pot it because I'm not sure where it will best be planted. So yes, just wanted to get some documentation of that. Hi, sweetie. So I just finished up potting the heath. Bobo came and scared me. He's been hanging out because it's raining out there. But yeah, the heath has been up potted, so I'm very excited about that. And I think for now I'll probably put it on the porch because it looks so nice out there. And once it gets established, I'll start thinking about putting it into the ground somewhere. Okay, today is Friday, May 30th, and it's a beautiful day here in Portland, Oregon. I'm just enjoying an actual full day of leisure time outside, which is such a rarity these days. It's been several months of just lots of things to be done and feeling like I could just never get to the gardening. Thank goodness I have so many perennials that came back for me because this year I am doing things a little bit differently, and I'm planning to not plant things from seed. Although maybe I will later, but it's almost June and I still haven't, so yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share my perennials. Some of them are a few years old at this point, and they all have a little story. But I think, I mean, for me, I love to see the progression of perennials, so hopefully people might find this helpful or interesting. I know I appreciate the documentation from year to year, and I enjoy sharing pictures of the baby plants and how they look over the years. And what's interesting is you can grow something in the ground, but I feel like if you grow it in a container, it's like totally different. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't have things in the ground yet. That was the ultimate plan, but it hasn't come to fruition just yet. But anyway, I'm keeping everything alive. Maybe someday these things will be in the ground in a forever home, but until then, I'm learning a lot. Keeping things alive in a container is a little challenging. I think all the plants at this point could stand for maybe some worm castings or something on the top dress, the top. I've been giving them all a little bit of fish emulsion, but I'd really like to enrich the soil a little bit because they're multiple-year-old plants, all a little bit different, but some are really old. Some are just 2 or 3 years old, but yeah, I'll go over all of that. Starting with my Coreopsis plants right here in the front. I've got 2 of them. I had grabbed seeds out of a neighbor's yard a few years ago and started these from seed, and didn't know what they were, and eventually came to realize through someone else's help that they were Coreopsis plants. They have a beautiful yellow flower, and they're perennial. This one didn't do so hot this winter. It almost died, but it's, as you can see, coming back. And this one did a lot better, and that's why it's a little bit larger. And it's even got a little flower started, a little bud. I originally started these seeds in the same pot, and it was funny, a weed came up in the middle of them, which confused me, and I finally figured it out. So I pulled the weed out, and then I separated the plants, and I can merge in some footage of that if I haven't already. And once I separated them, they really established well in their little vessels, and the first year they just did green foliage. And then after that, the year after, they put on flowers. So it did take a year. Let's see, I'm going to remind myself. These were started from seed in 2023, so they're 2 full years old, and this is their 3rd season that they're alive. So they're going on their 3rd summer here. So yeah, happy that they survived. Here are my spearmint plants. We had a little tragedy there. I had 2 of these types of spearmints that were, let's see, planted in 2022. So this is this plant's 3rd year, full year of being alive, and 4th summer season that it's going into. I'm not sure what happened, but I almost lost both of them. They were in really deep pots, and maybe I just trimmed them back too far, or maybe it got too cold. It could have been root rot or pests or fungal disease, I don't know. This one barely survived, but it survived, and it's, you know, it's coming back for me. But it had filled in this whole pot before. You can kind of see the skeletons of what's left behind. And yeah, so a little bit sad to lose the other spearmint. It just completely died. But I will say this plant behind it is a year behind, so it would be on its 2nd year and 3rd summer. So this one was a volunteer that came up for me because when those plants went to seed, this plant started in just an empty pot next door. And it survived, and it is a little different though. It's weird. These leaves are like fuzzy and more rounded and fluffy than these leaves. which are thinner. And this isn't a great specimen, but more serrated. In any case, they are both spearmint. They both taste amazing. I'm just really happy to have this one back there, especially since I lost that other plant. So that was a little sad, but still grateful to have a little bit of spearmint. Turning over here to the right is the Greek oregano. These plants are, let's see, they were planted in 2023. It's their second full year of being alive, and it's their third summer season that they're coming into. They, are doing pretty well. The aphids, the whiteflies, they all love these plants. I mean, they love all the plants, really. So I've been fighting those off the last few weeks. But because this is an edible, I have not been spraying neem oil or soap on it. Also, I don't think the oregano likes the soap treatments. I've had a lot of damage done in the past from that. So I've just been using water and snipping off any really infested areas, but it is challenging to keep the bugs off at this time of year. These plants, interestingly enough, they were overseeded in a little soil cell when I started them, and I neglected them all summer, but they were alive. And at the end of the season, I took the soil cell and I broke it up, and I put the little clumps in these larger pots and overwintered them, and they survived. And then last year they established. They didn't put out a lot of growth. I mean, it was a fair amount, but not like this year. And then they survived again this winter. One thing I will say about the oregano is I do keep it protected in the winter. I don't leave it out in the Portland rains where it's cold and wet, because they just do not like that. So I kept these in the greenhouse outside. So it was outside, but I don't know if you can see it back there, but I have a greenhouse back there. It was just in there all winter long, and it's fine. So it just needed a little protection from the rain, and it's sprung back into action. So I'm excited to have some Greek oregano. I'd like to have a whole dedicated bed of this so that I can really process a lot, but I'm just happy to have a little bit right now. It's better than nothing. Let's see, this little patch here is my feverfew. I've got, let's see, 2 plants. Oh, right, yeah, okay, so I'm glad I put stickers on these. This large plant right here is on its second year of full life, and then it's on its 3rd summer season. It's got a little branch going out this way, which I'm letting happen, because I think what happens is you get a lot of these, these little pieces that grow up from the bent cane. So this plant is about to flower, and these are beautiful white flowers. They're very daisy-like. This is a medicinal plant. Helps with inflammation, headaches. It's self-seeded in here. So these are new this year, but this is all feverfew. I would call this a prolific self-seeder. And then this little baby I planted from seed last summer, so it's on its full year of life and its 2nd summer season, and it needs to be up-potted. But it survived the winter, and it too is ready to start putting on some flowers. I love feverfew. It's one of my favorite plants. I originally grew it to see about making some capsules for headaches and hip pain. Doesn't really help with my headaches, but it does help with my hip pain, which is very nice. But I never took my own. I won't go into why, but not yet. I haven't taken it medicinally yet. At least stuff that I've grown. Down here is a sad, sad story. This is my catnip. It's on life support. Let's see. This plant was started in 2022, so it's on its 3rd full year of life, and it's on its 4th summer season. It might be its last. Although there's a little seedling down there that might be catnip. I don't know. Seems likely, but we'll see. Anyway, I mean, it's still hanging on for dear life. But I think what happened initially is, first of all, it made it through the winter like a champ. It went dormant, and then in the spring when it started getting warmer in the garage, the temperature started rising and it started to put out new growth right at the base, and I have a great picture I can merge in. And then it started growing up vertically, and then I started bringing it outside, and it got some sort of root rot and pest damage, and then on top of everything else, the cats were taking chunks off of it, which was sort of hilarious. I don't think I can, well, you know what, there is one hair right there. Can you see that hair? I don't know if you can see that cat hair, but there's some cat hairs here because the cats would like stick their face in here and just like mow down on whatever they could get. But anyway, it's not looking good, and I have lost the others that used to, oh my goodness, there's a bird down there. How cute. This plant had some friends that died last summer, and it just breaks my heart. Now, this plant brings me so much joy because I feed catnip leaves to my favorite cat, Bobo, and I think he's wondering what's up because he keeps like coming over to the spot where it used to be like, I'm ready for my leaf, but I don't have any to give him. So in a panic, I was at the store and I did buy this catnip plant. Look how lovely that looks. But since it was raised in a nursery and I don't know what it was sprayed with or, you know, how it was raised, I don't want to give the cats the leaves yet until it starts to put on some new growth. This is actually a lemon catnip plant, and I'm really excited to have it. I up-potted it, and it's a new addition to the family. So hopefully this works out. And I think I'm probably going to have to replant some catnip seeds because I just, honestly, out of all the plants, having the catnip around for the cats has just been like my biggest joy. So yeah. In the beginning of the video, I believe I put in the footage of the heath. That's what this is. This will bloom for us in like December, January, February, March. Puts on beautiful purple flowers, purplish pink flowers, and then in the summertime it puts on its new evergreen growth. As you can see, it's starting to push out some new growth. So I'm really excited to have this. This is something I plan to put in the yard somewhere. This is a shrub, and it's perennial. And it flowers at the dreariest time of year, so it's really, I'm super excited to have it. And it's heath, H-E-A-T-H. Interesting name. Not heather. It's not heather, but it's like related. This is just a lemon balm that has white flies and needs to be treated. This is its second year and third summer season, and it's just struggling a little bit. My main lemon balm planter is in the back, and yeah, it's looking great, and I've got a great harvest this year, which I'm very excited about, and I'll share about later. Okay. It's been about 14 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video and start a new one because I usually get cut off around this point. And then I'll talk about my yarrow. Okay. These three plants in front of me are the largest yarrow planters that I have. And let's see, they're not all the same age. Most of the yarrow plants that I have are Cerise Queen, and I've started all of those seeds last summer, and this is going to be their second summer and their first full year of life. So that would be this one in the middle and that one on the right hand side. This one is older. I'll have to check the tag for the year. I think it's from 2023. And this one is a mix of white and light pink yarrow. And again, I started that from seed. And there's multiple plants in each of these planters. But then I have a lot of other pots of yarrow. Very random pots that mostly are Cerise Queen. In fact, all of them are. For instance, this one right here, which is so funny because this is actually where it used to live last year. and it was on life support, and I'll have to just merge in a little bit of footage of this plant and what it looked like along the way and what its beautiful bloom looked like. If I remember correctly, it was white. I'll dig up some photos and merge them in, but yeah, this was supposed to be a cerise queen, but I believe the bloom came up white, and it survived, and I up-potted it, and it's doing great. I moved it here in the shade because it didn't like the heat of the day. It's a little hot right now in the 80s, and yeah, the yarrow doesn't like to be baked, even though it's advertised as drought tolerant. This one's a little bit rough right now. It's also cerise queen. I remember I even made a note on the tag that it's like a lavender pink. This one I really hope survives. It got hit with the pests, and I just think it's just struggling right now, so we'll see what happens, but it's hanging on. And this one had a beautiful pink lavenderish bloom last year. I'll put some pictures of it. It was just lovely. It was a champ. I couldn't believe how much this plant bloomed. So yeah, really hoping that it survives. But, yeah, it's in the shade, taking it easy. Okay, a couple others down here. A little bit of a story with this one and the one up here. These two were, I can put in some pictures from last summer. They were sort of like partners in crime. They were soil cells that were overseeded, and I just put the whole plug into a pot and let it go. It like bushed out. It was majorly overcrowded, and they still are. So there's multiple plants in these containers, but I was able to up-pot this one sooner. I have some footage of that. Can't remember, it might have been in September. It was like the end of the summer when I finally got to that. And then it did great. This one back here, straight ahead, it overwintered so beautifully, and I'll merge in some pictures of that progression. It just sort of, you know, died back and like went dormant, and always had a little bit of green growth on it, but it didn't really obviously grow during the winter a whole lot. But you could just tell it was poised to do really well. And then this one, I didn't get a chance to up-pot until this spring, and so it's way behind, and it didn't go through like a full winter with like a bigger pot, and it didn't cycle in a healthy way like that one up there did. But both of these, this duo, they're both cerise queens. They put up like this fluorescent pink bloom, so I'm super excited to get those again. I noticed the plants, they all put out pink or white, the cerise queens, but the pink color varies very greatly, probably based on maybe the nutrition in the soil. But yeah, this one down here is a cerise queen as well, and it's also a little bit rough. I think it's because it didn't drop its leaves from last year yet. It's held on to a lot of them, and they're starting to yellow now. But it is putting some new growth out, and it doesn't look terrible. And I remember I made a note of this. This is a white one. This one was like my prized plant last summer. It was just, the way it looked was so pristine, and the flower was so beautiful, and I will put in some pictures of that if I haven't already. Yeah, that one was really lovely. This one is my shaggiest cerise queen. You can see it's just very, very thick. There's lots of plants in there. I'll put in some pictures of the progression of this planter. I think I put like 5 or 6 little mini plants in this huge pot, and this is a cerise queen, so the bloom will be pink, and it's already putting out, oops, hit the shade cloth. I do have shade cloth on top of these plants right now because it's pretty hot. But there's a bloom right there, so it's already doing that. And then also you can see these stalks over here. These will be flowers, so it's got a bunch of them coming up. I'm super excited. And then this one has a stalk coming up as well. Check that out. Trying to get that to focus. Anyway, yeah, I'm super excited. This one got hit with the, actually, like I said, all my plants got hit with aphids and whiteflies. So it got, you know, knocked back a little bit, but it's bouncing back pretty well. I gave them all a treatment of neem oil with some dish soap or Castile soap, and then I sprayed it off. But the neem oil persists. I can smell it on there, and it helps a little bit. But yeah, the whiteflies and the aphids are relentless at this time of year. Okay, last but not least, this is my white and pink yarrow. It's 2 years old, and it's on its 3rd summer. Okay, so this one is a little bit ahead of the others, but this one got neglected last year. We had our roof replaced, and I had to put it up in the back corner, and I couldn't easily maintain it there, but it was safe at least from the roofers. And yeah, it just sort of struggled a little bit in the baking sun. I did eventually learn to put the shade cloth over top, which really makes a huge difference. And this year it's looking good. This one got hit really, really hard with the aphids before any of the other plants, and I didn't notice it for a while and didn't have time, quite frankly, to deal with it. So it got knocked back pretty badly, but it's rebounding nicely, as you can see. And I'm proud to say, try to get a little closer here, we've got a flower right there. That's the first one that's coming up, but there's another one coming up here, and I'm sure we're going to start seeing them come up in other places. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I was out on a walk the other day, and I noticed people who have their white yarrow in the ground. It's already bloomed. Like, it looks amazing. It's way ahead of mine. I guess all I can say is, because mine are in containers, it's just different, you know? It's just different. So, yeah. And also the sun. I mean, they don't get sun until the afternoon because they're back here on the deck. And, yeah, it's just, it doesn't get sunny here until later. So, anyway, I have a ton of yarrow. Even this one. This is probably the one that's in the roughest shape, and we'll see what happens. But again, got hit with some aphids, whiteflies, probably a little root rot, a little shock, transplant shock, who knows. But yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, lots of Cherise Queen yarrow, so I should have lots of pink flowers this year. But I should also have, in this planter, white and pink, and this is the medicinal yarrow, this plant here. It's the most medicinal. It's the wild yarrow, so I'm excited to have this. Okay, and the last plants to look at are the black-eyed Susans. These ones, there's 3 on the left here. These are my my old plants. They were started in 2023, so it's their second full year of growth, and then their 3rd summer season that they're going into. I don't know how long these last, but they do peter out after a while. This one on the left got hit with the pests really badly, and it maimed it. So the leaves are really like slender, and they don't look as healthy. But I think they're all going to bloom for me. They're already starting to put on their little flowers, so that's cool. But last year, because I didn't know how long these guys would last, I planted some babies. So these are all fresh. These were planted last summer, so they are 1 full year old, and this is their 2nd summer season. So these will definitely bloom for me this year. We've got a flower starting right there. And they'll just be a little fresher. They all need to be up-potted. But yeah, I'm very excited. This variety is called Indian Summer, and if I haven't already, I'll merge some photographs in of the blooms. They're stunning. They're just a little more special, in my opinion, than the regular black-eyed Susans, and oh man, sometimes the blooms just like blow me away. So yeah, lots of black-eyed Susans coming back. There is one large planter out in the driveway that maybe I'll go see if, I don't want to disturb the neighbors, but if nobody's out there, I'll get some footage. And it's actually got one bloom on it, so that's cool. There we go. There it is. This one got hit with the aphids pretty bad and the white flies, and it had the, what are they called? The spittle bugs. The spittle bugs where they leave like, I don't know, they chew on the plant and there's like foam coming up. So this one got hit pretty hard with lots of different pests. It was on the south side of the house all winter long. But I treated it and brought it back over here so I could keep better tabs on it. And it's looking good. This also is one of the elderly plants. So I forget off the top of my head. Maybe I labeled it. I did. This is its second full year and its third summer. Oops. So yeah. And the last thing I'll show at the moment is the yellow yarrow on the side of the house. And yeah, I'll just walk around here. One sec. Hi, sweetums. Who's a good boy? That's a great spot. Okay. Over here, we've got the moonshine yarrow, which is so bright. It's almost hard to tell if it's focusing. I could hear that plane overhead, and I wonder if that was Dave's plane. He just flew out to see his family. Cool to think about. We're very close to the airport here. But yeah, I just love yarrow. So gorgeous. This plant is smaller this year. I noticed it had some dieback at the ground there at some point in the last season, but hopefully it rebounds. These are the Shasta daisies. They aren't quite open yet. They've been getting hit with pests as per usual. It's not focusing. There we go. But I was out here the other day with some neem oil and just a little bit of Castile soap, and I sprayed off a bunch of aphids. I can tell that they need another treatment though. Might be able to tell there. But yeah. In addition to the aphids, this patch of dirt down here has earwigs as well, which I did make a trap for last year, but it got so hot over here it actually melted the plastic. So I need to try a different vessel because it was not successful. But yeah, so far so good. I keep thinking every year I might rip these out and put something else in here, but for right now, this is what we have. I did grow those from seed, planted them a few years ago. Yeah. I'm actually filming this on the next day. I never did go out back to get footage of the lemon balm, and then just show what kind of a state the backyard is in, or the back corner. I'll do that now. Today's weather is partly cloudy. The sun has been breaking through a little bit, and basically back here has just gone wild. I haven't really done much of anything except give some things some water and put tomato cages around the Shasta daisies and the chamomile in the back. But I never got to do any pruning on the roses this year. They just sort of went wild, and they looked beautiful. They're coming to an end. And then we have all these volunteer foxgloves that are just spectacular right now. This might be the best showing of foxglove that we've ever had. And it all started because I planted one plant a few years ago in the garden box, and it dropped seeds here. And ever since then, it's sort of been like foxglove corner. So that's really cool. But I came back here to get some footage of the lemon balm. This is my main planter. And let me refresh my memory. Okay, yeah, this plant is 2 years old, and it's going on its 3rd summer. I started it from seed. I actually had 3 plants in here that I started from seed and then transplanted into this container, and they've really just got well established and they're very happy. The first year I had put this on the south side of the house, over on that side, and it got like sun scalded. So I realized that the lemon balm needs some shade. Very direct hot sunlight doesn't do it any favors. So I put it here, and it's been very happy, at least for the last few months. Certainly I will move it again if I need to. That's the thing about my plants. I don't really have a permanent home for them. So I'm just sort of trying to figure out where to put them as I go along. But it's been very happy here, and I've gotten a main harvest off of this that was incredible. Between this plant and another plant I'll point out over there in the garden bed, I had these leaves that were like the size of my hand. And I got a picture, so I'll merge that in and just share a couple pictures of the harvest. But yeah, this plant's great. It's actually filling back in again after the first harvest. And I didn't make that mistake again. If you have watched videos of mine in the past, you'll know that the last few years I kept making this mistake of harvesting the leaves and then putting them in a bowl of water, just tap water, cold, not freezing, but cold. And, not being able to get to it right away and letting it soak. Don't do that. It will ruin the leaves, turns them brown, and they basically die. Like, it must just kills the leaf. I had never had that happen with anything else. So far, I'm sure it happens with other things. But yeah, so this year when I harvested, I made sure I had enough time to clean it and to salad spin it and then get it on the drying rack immediately. Oh, and that's another picture I can share of my drying rack in the basement. It just hangs, and it's super big, and it's perfect for large harvests, especially tea leaves, which is why I grow this. I like lemon balm tea. It's amazing. And the leaves have the highest oil content and flavor in the spring. So this is the time. In fact, the time to harvest for me actually was a few weeks ago. So, but I'm definitely going to do another harvest. These leaves are smaller, but they're still looking really good. And I'll be getting more of this before it starts to go to seed. So that's cool. Over here in the garden bed is the other plant. This is lemon balm right here. And this plant also is doing really great back here because this bed gets a lot of, shade and sun. So it's not getting blasted with sun. And the leaves on this plant, again, they were like the size of my hand. Not all of them, but a few. I just harvested so much off of this plant. And I'm really happy to have it. Not the best footage from this angle. I don't think I've mentioned before, but we have a family of songbirds that live in this area. The neighbor on that side of the fence, his yard has gone completely rogue, and his shed has fallen in, and the raspberry thorns and the weeds and everything have just overtaken it, and so that yard is just completely wild right now. And I noticed, I believe the birds are over there, but they come to our property. Obviously we're right next door, and they go to the pond for their bathing, and they drink from it, and we just hear them singing like all the time. It's like the most amazing year for songbirds. They're these little brown birds. I think I have some footage of them bathing. I know I have at least one video of one of them bathing. There he is. But yeah, it's really amazing. Something that happened yesterday that broke my little heart is the chamomile got smashed down by, I'm gonna guess, either a bird or a squirrel. Something landed on top of it and just basically like pummeled it to the ground. I staked it up with this tomato cage, but it's all in vain. I mean, you can see everything's just snapped in multiple places. I had a tomato cage on here, but it was a smaller, shorter one, and it just wasn't tall enough this year. It got very tall, and so whenever something landed on it, it just, like I said, pummeled it to the ground, and there were just multiple breaks. I found the whole plant like smashed down yesterday. It like is a huge disappointment. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not really laughing about it. Yeah, it doesn't look good anymore, but at least I did get some footage of this plant before that happened. Yeah, so it's just about June 1st. Today's May 31st. And like I said before, I don't plan to start any annual vegetables or flowers. It's not a high priority this year. I would like to get this garden box back here fixed, and this garden box actually maybe torn out and maybe put in some single beds, some larger planters, I'm not sure. There's a lot of weeding that needs to be done back here. The roses need to be cleaned up. I probably won't get to that for quite a while. But then these beds haven't been dug yet or mended. They need to be mulched again. These are all, by the way, the old zinnia skeletons from last summer. They come right out. But I think I will plant in these beds if you know, what do I want to say here? If things work out that way, like if I'm back here and I just have the time and I can do it, but I'm trying to prioritize some other things. Maybe we'll do an autumn planting, but if not, I'm prepared to just forego the annual vegetables and flowers until next year so that I can make some headway on other yard projects. But this garden bed and this garden bed are stable enough where I don't feel like they need to be replaced. I did some repairs on them a few years ago. You can see it's pretty rough, but it's holding them together and they're still fine. So it's just the tiny ones that I'm worried about. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I'm really grateful to have the foxgloves. And then this plant also, this was a volunteer poppy plant. And we've had tons of blooms on this baby. And I realized when I looked through the fence, you can't see, but the neighbor has them through the fence there. So the seeds just came over to this side. So I'm really excited about that. Nice to have extra flowers that I didn't have to work hard for. So yeah. Perennials and volunteers have saved the day, or saved the season this year. And I have my work cut out for me. I mean, just look at all these pots from last year that I still need to dump and clean and get the soil saved. There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done. So yeah. This is a really cool day. It's like the perfect temperature. It's like warm, but still has a nice coolness in the wind. But it's not cold. It's like sweatshirt weather, easily. And the wind is just a mood. I'm loving it. So anyway, I'm wishing everyone a great summer season. I'll be sure to document how things are moving along later on. Nice. And I'll just say over and out for now.